Good morning, everybody. There's about 90 people more than I expected, so thank you for coming. I thought I'd start with a story about how I prepared for Ignite. So back in Norway, I'm a goalkeeper trainer for a bunch of teenage girls. And I go away quite frequently in my job with Microsoft, and I thought, hey, I tell the girls, I'm going away again, I'm speaking at a conference, and sorry. And they're like, well, can we hear the session? And I thought to myself, what could possibly go wrong if I present a session on Microsoft Graph to a bunch of teenage girls? Turns out a lot. So originally, I was going to stand here and talk about how I felt a little bit like Julia Roberts in that scene from Notting Hill, where she's standing in front of Hugh Grant, and I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. So I did that whole spiel, and one of them puts her hand up, and she's like, what's Notting Hill? The next one puts her hand up, and she's, who's Julia Roberts? And the third one just said, that's not funny. So teenage girls are a little mean, is kind of my takeaway there. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So I'm here to talk to you today about Profile. Profile is a new set of entities that we've released on Microsoft Graph in preview as of last Friday, and is part of our work to unify how we represent people in Microsoft products at an API level. So a lot of you will be very familiar with the picture on the left. It's pretty much pervasive now through Microsoft 365. It's the profile card. And then the other example we have here is a custom experience that has been built on top of Microsoft Graph using the new preview APIs that I'm going to talk about today. For the avoidance of doubt, we're not planning on shipping this, but we will use some of the concepts and begin bringing that to the shared people experiences in Microsoft 365 in the coming months. So just a quick, a very brief glance at some of the entities that we've modeled and chosen to model as part of this work. The blue ones are now in preview and available for you on Microsoft Graph right now. The white ones are coming, and there will be more, I'm sure, as you come and give us feedback after the session. So I'd encourage anybody who's really interested to take a photo of the next couple of slides. This is a link to the profile resource type in the Graph documentation. It's surfaced under the People and Workplace Intelligence node, and there's about 80 or 90 pages of content about how to use the new API, the permissions you need, and some of our thinking around it. You can also try it on the new preview of Graph Explorer. For those of you that have used the old Graph Explorer, this is a huge improvement in terms of usability, and is surfaced. The API itself is available on the old one and the new one, but we strongly recommend you use the new one. Please give us feedback on that as well. And then finally, some of you may have been at the Microsoft Graph Toolkit session earlier in the week. The fancy giraffe was presenting, and he actually showed a live demonstration of the Profile API being added dynamically into the Graph Toolkit as a third-party developer. So please check that out. We'll be working together very closely in the coming months to make sure that you're able to use this new API out of the box. So I'm going to first focus on how some of the data that is stored in the new API is accruing already to some of the shared people experiences in M365. This is work that's coming soon. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in quite before Ignite, not Build. That was 5 months ago. But we've added the ability back to manage non-standard visibilities for properties. What I mean by this is any Azure Active Directory property that is in your directory today can now be surfaced via the profile card in Microsoft 365. That also includes the custom attributes, the 1 through 15, which are very popular with a lot of large organizations. However, custom attribute 2 is not a very friendly name for a cost center. So what we've also added is the ability for your organization to set a custom display label for those fields. In this case, we've labeled it as cost center. I realize it's a little hard to see. We also recognize that not every company has only English speakers or only Norwegian speakers in it. So we've also added the ability to localize those property labels and automatically detect when somebody's coming with a version of a client which is non-English. So now what I'll do is change back to profile and talk about some of the schema capabilities and highlight how you can already today start building custom experiences on top of Microsoft Graph. We've added support for customizable image sizes. Those of you that have ever worked with Microsoft Graph or any of the Outlook REST APIs in the past will know that we had 9 standard sizes that could be used, and only those 9 standard sizes. It's been a huge pain point for a lot of our customers, and we've now added the ability for you to decide what size you want that photo to be. If you want 732 by 956, have at it. We've also added support for multiple photos. This is a request we've seen from a lot of our larger customers who want to present a more corporate image for some of their experiences, but also want to allow their users the ability to have a more social or fun photo that also represents them. The other thing that we've done is we've added support for cover images. This is probably the #1 feature request we got with the Delve profile, and we heard you and we listened and we're adding it in. We've also added personal notes and annotations, and support for pronouns will be coming soon. This is important because it allows a user in their own words to be able to explain who they are or provide a little tidbit or icebreaker set of information. When it comes to pronouns, it's important that you're able to express how you wish to be addressed by the people in your organization. We've also added the ability to store multiple languages on a user's profile. Historically, we've been able to store one, and in many cases, we haven't been able to change it. But having that support is probably not enough. The fact that I've got Danish, Norwegian, and English on my profile means absolutely nothing to any of you if you have no idea how well I speak it. To that end, we've also added support for language proficiencies. We've taken a very close representation of what LinkedIn does with their proficiencies, and we've tried to match it up so that we can now represent how a user is speaking, how they read, how they write, and represent that through an experience such as this. When it comes to skills, we've also improved our ability and capabilities there. Not only do we have things like categories available, but we've also added proficiency. It's pointless me adding Microsoft Graph and program management and knitting to my profile if nobody knows how well I do one of them. How do I find that one person in my organization who's an expert in knitting, for example? Maybe not the best example, but you all will have seen some of the sessions and some of the announcements around Project Cortex earlier in the week as well. This is a great peek behind the scenes of how the data that is derived from Cortex actually surfaces in a user's profile. As part of the work that we've done, we've added support for much more granular visibilities through the allowed audiences field, and we've added support natively on all entities for inferences. So while Cortex has started with something called responsibilities, skills, interests, nicknames, all of those will over time begin to be machine learned and show up as inferences in your profile. Now, not a lot of people are fully comfortable with just letting a machine decide what they know and what they don't know. So as a part of this work, and as we accrue it to the profile API, we've added this user has verified accuracy. What this means is if that is set to false, the only person that can see that data is you. If I was to confirm that it was true and that I am indeed an expert in program management, then the visibility is automatically updated and allows the rest of my organization to see as if it was a part of the rest of my profile fields. It would then appear in my profile in Delve. It would appear on the live profile card or the profile card in M365, and of course, any custom experience that you've built. We've also beefed up our capability when it comes to work history and educational activities. Today, you'll see in Delve that it's possible to add the schools that you've attended, and it comes up as a string list. And the same with your work history. We have the ability to store just one, and that's your current job. And it's often quite useful, especially in a large organization. When you're trying to contextualize somebody, you need to be able to understand who they are and where they've come from. You're also looking for icebreakers and ways to connect with people that you may know or share common interests with in that respect. We've also added support for when you completed your educational activity, which is something our sister team in LinkedIn was in the news about a few weeks ago. Another thing I want to highlight here is some of the work we're doing around the ability to search and find expertise within your organization. Here we see that there are 3 people in my organization who have the same machine learning expertise listed on their profile, and it's surfaced when I hover over them in this experience. If I was to click that button, it would take me to a search page where I have looked and the experts are listed. It is also possible for us to start storing things like endorsements. It's great that I call myself an expert in project management or program management, but it's even better if somebody in the audience was to say, yeah, actually, you know what, he is pretty good at that. So we are adding that ability to help us address some of the sparseness that we often see in these experiences. Another really important thing to note here is the API shape and the response that you get back through Microsoft Graph doesn't limit your ability to innovate on top of your own data, your ability to innovate on top of data that is elsewhere on the web. Support for things like the Open Graph APIs are a great way of surfacing additional information alongside the raw data you get from M365. A great example here is the hover over the Seattle Sounders interest that I have on my profile, and what you see is the logo from their website and their latest tweet saying it's game day. So again, another photo slide. How you get started. We went over this a little earlier. I just wanted to cover it one more time. You can try it already today in Graph Explorer. And you can also read the content. Wait for everybody to take the photo. Great. Now, one thing that's really interesting about this is we've very deliberately chosen not to go to V1 yet. And the reason we've done that is because we wanted to get the feedback from our customers on what we've done right, what we've done wrong, and how we can improve the end result so that when it does go to V1 early next year, that we're able to make sure it's something that is actually usable and interesting for you. So please, after the session, I'll be off to the side over here if you want to come and ask questions. You're also able to come by the M365 developer platform users, groups, and contacts booth, which is under the identity sign over in the corner. I think we've still got a little bit of swag left, if that helps make your decision for you. And then post-Ignite, you're also able to directly contact the product team that is working on this with your feedback after you've had a chance to review the documentation and ask us any questions or make suggestions. One last plug. We have the the M365 developer certification process ongoing now. It's free for Ignite attendees, so please take advantage of that on the last day and tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for coming today.